Cardi B versus Nicki Minaj, round whatever we're on, okay? The Twitter wars, I'm entertained, but these are just random thoughts. Whoever violated HIPAA to give Cardi B that information, they're coming for you. Oh my God, what a nasty lowdown thing to say to someone, and I think that it was warranted. Cardi and Nicki both go to hell with each other, and Cardi just took it lower and lower and lower and lower.
That rapper and her sister been dissing Nicki and her son over a year. There's tweets out there, them saying, Papa Bear, oh, her kids know their ABCs. What that mean? Oh, my kid's so smart. Just saying little slick stuff when Nicki posts her child and things like that. Nicki pay it does, because it ain't directed, it ain't respected.
And when we discussing this tomorrow, let's all make one thing very fucking clear. Nicki brought up kids first. Let's make that very fucking clear, because I know how some of y'all like to rewrite history.
When did rap beef stop being about bars and start becoming about babies? Because what's happening between Nicki Minaj and Cardi B right now has officially crossed a line that even die-hard fans are calling disturbing. We're talking about two of hip-hop's biggest powerhouses, women who built empires from grit and glamour, now trading insults that aren't just personal, they're venomous, dragging innocent children into the mess. But here's where it gets chilling. This latest feud didn't just expose old grudges, it revealed how deep their hate truly runs. Before we get into the explosive tweets, the alleged secrets, and the moment that made Nicki Minaj snap publicly, make sure you like this video, subscribe, and turn on notifications, because what you're about to hear is one of the darkest turns in rap history. So let's rewind to how this chaos even began. Cardi had just dropped her new album, a moment that should have been triumphant, celebratory, all about the music. But according to fans, Nicki wasn't having it.
And there is an album, so you talking about no album with what? Y'all don't even want me to drop that album because y'all gonna be fucking crying. Because I'ma outsell. I'ma have hits. I'ma be on top. That's a fact.
And just like that, Cardi showed us why she is the drama, but the drama will not make any sales.
They squeezed that lemon dry for that. They bled that. I mean, she even rolled out her pregnant.
She reportedly shaded the album's sales in a series of since-deleted posts, implying Cardi faked her numbers to make it look like a hit. Now, that alone could have been brushed off as typical rap competition, but Cardi fired back, wondering why Nicki, a seasoned veteran, keeps picking at her instead of focusing on her peers. And just like that, the tension reignited. What started as petty industry shade turned nuclear when family got dragged into it. Because once Cardi accused Nicki of going to fertility doctors, mocking her inability to have kids, and blaming it on years of drug use, things spiraled out of control.
And you black girls that continuously support that, when these girls continuously show you that they not really for you like that for real, they on record dissing black women. Time after time, calling us monkeys and roaches. Like, come on now. Like, y'all really keep defending that?
Nicki didn't just clap back. She unleashed a storm of words that made the internet stop and stare. She wrote, and I quote, "Is I'm the Barney B and the flop? Is I'm lying about fertility when the queen has never once seen or spoken to a fertility doctor in her life?" Then she launched into full war mode, threatening lawsuits, promising to reveal private medical records, and even referencing Cardi's husband Offset and other personal details that had fans gasping. But beneath the jabs, Nicki slipped something, telling she claimed that some women plan their pregnancies, hinting that Cardi didn't, and calling her life a mess created by her own choices. It was cutting, biblical almost, filled with talk of demons, souls, and punishment. But if Nicki thought that was her mic drop moment, she was wrong, because Cardi came back swinging in a way no one saw coming. She told Nicki straight up, "Girl, it's your son's birthday. Why are you on Twitter writing essays about me? Go to Chuck E. Cheese." It was sarcastic, dismissive, and cruelly timed. And that's when the unthinkable happened. Cardi took aim not just at Nicki's music, not at her husband, but at her child Papa Bear. She accused Nicki of being so obsessed and hateful that she was neglecting her son, calling him nonverbal and banging spoons, while implying he was developmentally delayed because of her alleged substance use. Those words, "your son can't speak," spread across social media like wildfire, igniting outrage from both fan bases. The Barbz called it disgusting, inhumane, unforgivable. The Bardi Gang defended her, saying Nicki started it by calling Cardi's daughter ugly. It was chaos. Screenshots, tweets, deleted posts, re-uploads. The internet turned into a battleground overnight. But let's be real, no one came out clean. Because Nicki herself had earlier crossed the line when she publicly mocked Cardi's daughter Culture, calling her culture vulture and ugly too, suggesting she inherited her mother's alleged flaws. That's when everything turned dark. We went from rap beef to generational trauma warfare. Cardi responded by unleashing hell, calling out Nicki's family history, accusing her father of being a drug addict and her brother of crimes so serious they made headlines years ago. She told Nicki to stop throwing stones when her own house was already crumbling. And when Nicki fired back, she didn't just defend herself, she cloaked it in religion, claiming Cardi's music was dipped in evil spirits, saying it spreads demons and negativity, and that her success came from dark energy. Fans started splitting into camps. Those who saw Nicki as a bitter queen lashing out at the next generation, and those who saw Cardi as a reckless fire starter going too far for clout. But the real heartbreak? The kids' Culture and Papa Bear becoming collateral damage in a war they never asked to be part of. Think about it. Nicki's son is only 5. Cardi's daughter is 8. They're still learning their ABCs while their names are being thrown around online as punchlines in a grown woman's feud, and once something's posted online, it never dies. Screenshots, TikToks, fan edits, everything gets immortalized. These kids might grow up and see their own mothers publicly insulting each other's children. It's more than messy, it's generational pain dressed as entertainment. But let's go deeper, because this isn't the first time Nicki and Cardi have brought their feud into dangerous territory. Remember the Harper's Bazaar Icons party in 2018? The infamous shoe-throwing incident that ended with Cardi leaving with a lump on her forehead? That moment symbolized everything wrong with how personal their beef had become. Fast forward to now, and it's evolved into something far more psychological. Cardi accused Nicki of pretending to have seizures after that night, saying she only shook because of an overdose, while Nicki fired back claiming Cardi's husband cheats and that she'd soon be broke and homeless in 36 months. The vitriol was unmatched. It wasn't rap anymore, it was revenge poetry with real lives as targets. And then came the ultimate twist. Nicki suddenly took a softer tone, saying infertility should never be mocked, that women struggling with it deserve compassion, not jokes. But fans weren't buying it. They called it performative damage control, accusing her of trying to sound like a saint after spending hours throwing shots. Cardi saw that too, and it only fueled her more. She clapped back that Nicki was playing victim and that her so-called compassion was fake, a PR move, after realizing how bad the optics looked. The war of words didn't stop there. Nicki began tweeting spiritual warnings, telling fans not to listen to Cardi's demonic music, saying it invited darkness into people's lives. It was almost like she was casting a spell in reverse, rebuking Cardi through faith. Meanwhile, Cardi doubled down on exposing Nicki's family, saying her upbringing was proof of why she turned out so bitter, and that her own son's struggles were karma for wishing bad on others. People were stunned. It wasn't just beef anymore, it was psychological warfare in public view. Comment sections filled with debates over who crossed the line first. Some said Nicki started it by mentioning culture. Others said Cardi went nuclear by dragging Papa Bear into it. Either way, the damage was done. Millions watched as two mothers used motherhood itself as a weapon. But here's what most fans missed the pattern. Every few years, when either artist is about to drop new music, this feud mysteriously reignites. Coincidence? Maybe. Or maybe both women know exactly how much engagement and virality their rivalry brings. The algorithm loves chaos. But what happens when that chaos involves children who can't defend themselves? That's where the conversation shifts from entertainment to ethics. Imagine Culture going to school tomorrow and hearing another kid repeat Cardi's own words about Nicki's son. Or Papa Bear growing up to see memes mocking him for something he never did. That's not beef, that's trauma in the making. And fans are enabling it every time they quote tweet, laugh, or spread it further. What's scary is how both women seem addicted to responding. Instead of letting silence win, they feed the fire one post, one live, one quote at a time. And while the internet eats it up, the long-term fallout could haunt them both. Because let's face it, the internet never forgets. And neither will those kids. So where does it end? When does someone in their camp step in and say, enough? Because right now, it's not about charts, it's not about lyrics, it's about ego, pain, and power disguised as shade. And the irony is, both women have the talent to dominate without ever saying each other's names again. But instead, they keep opening old wounds and bleeding for the audience. Nicki, the self-proclaimed queen of rap, feels her crown slipping whenever Cardi trends. And Cardi, the unfiltered fighter from the Bronx, feels like she has to swing every time Nicki breathes her way. It's a toxic cycle that feeds both their brands and destroys their peace. What makes this particular fight so haunting is that it blurred a sacred line motherhood. There's something different about watching two icons weaponize their children against each other. It's no longer entertainment, it's pain on display, and the internet's applause makes it worse. Because now, both women are trapped in personas they can't escape. If Nicki shows vulnerability, she's losing. If Cardi apologizes, she's folding. But the truth? Both are losing because the public has stopped seeing them as women and mothers and only sees the spectacle. Fans say they love authenticity, but what they really love is drama, and these two know it. Still, this time feels different. The backlash against both was fierce, especially after Cardi's comments about Nicki's son being nonverbal and banging spoons. People called it cruel, ableist, unnecessary. Others said it was karma for Nicki calling culture ugly. Either way, this fight may have finally gone too far to recover from. In the court of public opinion, there's no reset button. So, as the dust settles, one question remains. How did we get here? How did two women who once symbolized female empowerment in hip-hop turn their platforms into weapons of humiliation? Maybe fame isolates people. Maybe success magnifies insecurities. Or maybe, deep down, both Nicki and Cardi are mirrors of each other, loud, emotional, fiercely protective, and haunted by the idea that there can only be one queen. But if this feud proves anything, it's that there are no winners when children become targets. Just broken legacies and screenshots that will outlive the apologies. And that's the tragic truth behind this whole storm, that somewhere between the tweets, the lies, and the shade, humanity got lost. And maybe that's the saddest part of all that. We've watched two powerful women, both of them mothers, artists, and survivors, let the world turn their pain into a public performance. There was a time when Nicki and Cardi represented two eras of female dominance in hip-hop, women who refused to play by the industry's rules. But now, it feels like they've both become characters trapped in a narrative that feeds on conflict instead of creativity. Somewhere in between the fame, the filters, and the feuds, they lost sight of what made people love them in the first place. Their raw power, their individuality, their fearlessness. What started as rap competition became emotional warfare, and once kids were dragged in, the game changed forever. Maybe one day they'll both look back at this and realize how much was lost in the noise, friendships, respect, innocence, and the dignity of motherhood itself. Until then, the internet will keep replaying the clips, quoting the bars, and feeding the cycle, because outrage always trends. But what doesn't trend is accountability. And until that changes, the queens will keep fighting not for crowns, but for peace they might never find.